This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Okay, so Jake Paul gets engaged. That's what's up. Him and his brother are both engaged now. Remy Ma, I have to bring this back. She actually went on stage and says, if I wanted my man back, I'd take him back. I don't know. His recent pictures, he looks really happy. We'll show him later. I mean, I don't think he wants to go back to you. You're miserable. You're disloyal. You ruin anything you get a part of, Remy Ma. Remy Ma, you're horrible, okay? I thought you were going through a phase when you went against Fat Joe in 2007. Turns out you're just a disloyal person, okay? Because you went against Fat Joe again. You didn't beef with him this time, but you didn't go. He figured something out independently. He got you popping again, and then you went and signed with Capitol. That was crazy. Like, Remy Ma, you are who you are. You are who you are. Can't fix people. Well, GQ puts out a article that says, it brings us no pleasure to report that Kanye West made a good Kanye West album. He takes a post from posting slurs and feuding with the world to leak a work-in-progress version of his new album, Bully. Kanye's doing a lot of interviews with different people that will only uncensor the interview. So he did one with Akademiks, and he wants it to play unedited. I think that's truly dangerous for Akademiks. Akademiks does not have $1 billion. Most of us, all of us listening right now, do not have $1 billion. I don't even know if Kanye has $1 billion, but he at least has $500 million, right? And that's enough to say, F you, I'm going to say what I want. And we all don't have that. So you could damage your brand by aligning yourself or even entertaining some of these things that Kanye says. It's not simple things. It's not just going against one person. He's going against religions, and he takes two for being a musician, right? Where you're trying to appeal to as many people as possible. He's trying to offend as many people as possible at the same time. I mean, he can do what he wants. It's his life, but you don't want to put the toxic stench on your brand as well. Let him destroy himself. If he wants to destroy himself, that is his. He's trying to make himself radioactive, he says, so nobody wants to mess with him and use him, right? Well, there's another simple way to do that. Just don't mess with anybody. You don't have to ruin your brand to be like, yeah, you don't let anybody in. And if you do, it's under contract and NDAs and agreements, and that's it. You have to be careful with your brand. I understand that. Jim Jones already backstabbed Kanye, trying to line him up with a crypto guy, and he was going to get, I guess Jim Jones was going to get $2 million for the introduction. Jim Jones is just a greedy snake. That's all he is, okay? Kanye went on this, let me see if I still have this. He went on this rant from Japan talking about, let me put this back. Hold on. Kanye has his own ideas about things, and some of the times he's spot on, but I just don't. Offending people is crazy to me.
Experiencing right now is ultimate freedom. Do you know how much money that I had to have in order to be able to pop this much shit on Twitter? I don't give a fuck about cars, houses, life or death, jail, or so-called freedom. What I care about is actual freedom. And I got about the country, right? I'm back in Japan, one of my homes, because they started getting around people and getting people to say, oh, he needs to go to the hospital. He needs to go. What did I do? What did I physically do? I need to go to the hospital, my nigga? For what?
So a lot of people were saying that he's just off his meds, which is possible, and that he's just manic, That happens, okay? It doesn't mean he's he just needs his meds, He has a chemical imbalance. But, when people get in those episodes, they don't want to take their meds. We've seen that in, like, Law & Order, Thank God he's not the kind of manic where he starts, like, taking people out, But he just starts offending people. That's about it. I don't know. Maybe he has Tourette's. I don't know. Yeah, he met with his kids northwest Chicago and saw him west last night in L.A. I know Kim's scared to death to have her kids around them. And I'm not saying Kim's perfect, but I'm just saying. He released this, like, 30 minutes of the album, and it's just, he's too artsy-fartsy for me. The whole thing is, like, 30 minutes of these people fighting in a wrestling ring. It's just, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, he's a genius. It's like, it's just being like, oh, let's have ninjas battling on balconies with the sun setting, and like, I don't know, man. Let's just show the ocean for 30 minutes and then show different creatures come out of the ocean, and then people be like, this is visual genius. Memphis. Okay, so Sayso P, the guy that was down with Sauce Walka, right? And Sauce Walka aligned himself with him. That was his artist. I thought he was from Texas. Apparently he's from Memphis, right? And he created a lot of beef in Memphis for himself. Now, Memphis is a weird, it's a very split city. It's a lot like Chicago. And, a lot of people have beef with each other. It's not just clear and simple as CMG versus Pre, okay? There's a lot more moving parts there. And people try to, like, say they understand it. You don't understand it, okay? You don't live in Memphis. You'd have to live in Memphis to understand. I've spoken to people. I have people I know in Memphis, okay, that I speak to still, And it's just complicated stuff, man. I didn't speak to him about this situation, but I spoke to him about past situations. Things are complicated that they understand, okay? And every situation is different. This seems like I saw my mixtapes post this, and I've seen people die from this before, okay? What was his name, man? It was a guy in Atlanta that was outspoken. He was, let's see. Let me look it up, and you can look it up yourself. But Kevin Gates, artist, and I knew him before he was Kevin Gates, artist. Kevin Gates, artist, Atlanta, dies. He died in a Waffle House. Young Mozzie, that was his name. Look up Young Mozzie. He was shot and killed in Atlanta. And Young Mozzie, it was known in the city that he took bricks from somebody and never paid for them a long time ago, back in 2010 or 9. Someone told me that, and then he died in 2017. I don't know if it probably had nothing to do with that situation, but he did stuff like that. He'd just take things from people and not give it to them. Well, they caught him at Lenox Mall, followed him to the Waffle House, and killed him. Looks like this guy, Sayso P, is on that kind of time. Taking things from people, aligning himself with people, pretending like he's got motion in the city on a gangster level, that he doesn't have. And I guess he made Sauce Walka feel like everything's cool, or maybe Sauce Walka just felt like nobody's going to do nothing to me, right? And they found out where Sayso P was because they were posting a lot too. So all it takes, people talk, and they got the word that where he was coming out of a hotel and lit him up. And unfortunately, Sauce Walka got caught in the leg. Now, for some reason, Rainwater speaking about this on Clubhouse. I have that's Mo3's manager. And it's like, dude, this guy, he went from collared, notebook guy that, that now he's like a gangster specialist. I don't know how to say. You would think the way he talks now, he's a gangster. Okay, so And how would he know that the person stood over him? And let's see. Let me see if I can play that. I have it right here. Rainwater's aligned himself with the Wack100, which is, I don't know, from that no jumper interview. Is this it right here? Hold on.
In the day, he waiting to get.
Yeah, that's something else. Right here.
What the going on with Sauce now?
I think they said. I think that white. I mean, that white
He
boy.
dead.
Yeah, he from there though. He had some more shit going on.
Oh, he from there?
Yeah, he from there. So
Now
it
it's
looks.
making sense because I thought the nigga. I'm like, is this nigga from Texas?
Nah, I heard they stood over Walk and realized it was Walk and said, "Nah, you good." He knew what he did and ran out.
Oh, they stood over it.
Yeah, so it really, this boils down to Sayso P had a lot of enemies in the city, and they caught him lacking. That's it. He aligned himself with the wrong people, and then CEO Jizzle and people like that were commenting on it after. We'll get to that in a second. He says, Exit 8 Tankman says, know how he's supposed to had security with him. Ain't no way you thought you had that much rank in the city that nobody wasn't going to try you, especially after pulling out all that money last night, and you had beef here already. Them folks been waiting for you to come back. You ran off with 200k. If you having money in motion and a millionaire with armed security should have been the first thing you got. Folks got to stop trying to prove they can move around and not get touched. Man, that's always been the case. People always say, no security. I don't even have security out here. I guess they were trying to say that. Like, bro. What was that proving? Going to the club, pulling out money, showing when you owe people money. So anyways, yeah, that happened right near the FedEx Forum. Memphis is just full of murder, bro. It's gotten a lot worse, obviously, the past 8 to 10 years, but it was always been bad. I never went to Memphis by myself. I always went with people that I was at video shoots before in Memphis, and gunshots would ring out. And then we just leave, But, like, that happened, I was around, like, one time a couple times I was with Yo Gotti. I was with other people in the city. They, they had motion in the city, so they were good in their areas. But they didn't go to certain areas, Because, why try it, Someone said, yo, trick on Drake, baby, for me. Joe Jordan says, I can't find his number. Trying to be funny. This is CEO of Jizzle, I guess. And then gets a response from him. He says, you a B at TCH. Nobody's scared of you. I guess he went back on Baby Drake and says, you definitely not a threat to me. Blah, 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 blah. These guys, but this is normal. And all this chitter chatter that happens after a shooting, the cops log all this. You guys are you guys want to go to jail? like, dude, the internet is the best thing that ever happened to law enforcement. You got Wack100 up here on Clubhouse and on podcasts. You got Loose Lips, Tweety Bird over there, telling everything. Brick Baby. It's crazy, man. These people are just snitching on themselves. Or really others, in this case. Wack100 talks about Loose Cannon. Right here.
What the going on with
no, this one right here.
Talked to Luce Cannon today. He waiting to get extradited back to Los Angeles so he could try to get another bail hearing.
Yeah, but how was he cool with Big U like that, and he was cool with you?
Well, no, he ain't fucked with him in a couple years.
And that's the right question right there. Luce Cannon and Wack100 used to diss each other, just so you know. But ever since they had a common enemy, they came together. But you guys hated each other before. And you guys trust each other? Never trust a gang member or someone who committed crimes before. They will flip on you in 2 seconds, man. I'm telling you, man. It's hard to trust anybody, honestly. People want to connect everything to these situations, though. They're trying to connect the Nip situation. Listen, man, I don't even believe that Big U took that kid out in the desert, to be honest with you. Nah, that doesn't make any sense, you know? Over a diss song and an argument? That it had to be something deeper than that if it was taken out. And really, Big U didn't Big U muscled people for sure. Like, he wasn't like a saint out here. Wack100's not a saint either. He tries to press people. He rolls around the city trying to press people. What you talking about? Remember his videos back in 2017 and 18? Be like, I'm out. Where you drop your location? Da, da, da. You think this guy? But now he's turned into a detective to take down Big U? Like, what? What? At one point, his ego got hurt by Big U. That's all I could say, you know? That's all I can say about that. His ego got hurt by Big U, and he was obsessed with taking him down. And he was successful. They got recruited people, dummies like Luce Cannon, so they can run their mouth. Luce Cannon is all over the paperwork because he didn't have to go in and make a statement. All he had to do was go on a podcast and go on Clubhouse sometimes and tell his stories. Wack100 gives tons of information on Clubhouse and everything. Back then, that used to be, back 10, 20 years ago, that was snitching, right? Now it's not, I guess. It's just content, right? They call it content. Give me the content. Notice they always use that word? We need to run this content. Yeah. Luce Cannon's one of those people who just doesn't know who he is. Like, he's standing next to helicopters that he never got on and took off anywhere, okay? He's just a con man in L.A., okay? And he's a good one. He finagled his way into Black China, this one and that one. That's all he is, man. It is, you know. And he was around Big U. Big U was useful to Big U until he wasn't. I'm not saying Big U's an innocent person out here, okay? But Wack100 sure painted one hell of a case for him, right? With everybody he got involved. 600, all these people. This is nasty work, bro. Anyways, I appreciate you all. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Smash that like button. Peace.